This is a tutorial on the ZwoBot Stretch device. ZwoBot is a suite of Max for Live devices that allows you to create visuals inside Ableton Live. If you're new to ZwoBot, I'd recommend you go back and watch some of my earlier tutorials, and I'll put a link to those in the top right corner of the screen now. And if you're interested in buying ZwoBot, there's a link in the description. So the Stretch device basically will stretch part of your visual. I've already connected it to my player here, and I've got this image that I've loaded up into my video deck. Currently it's not doing anything because this stretch dial is turned right down, but if we start to turn that up, you can see the right hand side of the screen here is being stretched. So the higher up this stretch control is, the more of the screen that's going to be affected. Underneath that, we've got these three stretch modes: lines, warp, and L and W, which stands for lines and warp. So lines will stretch the image in these coloured lines here, but you can select warp instead, which will warp the image like this. And then you can select L and W, which will do both, so it'll create those lines but also warp them. And then over here you can choose the direction that the stretch is happening in. So currently it's set to right, so it's stretching the right side of the screen. You can also select left to stretch the left side of the screen. Down will stretch the bottom. Up will stretch the top. And then you've got these door options. So door X will stretch both the left and right sides of the screens. And then door Y will stretch the top and bottom of the screen. In the bottom left hand corner, we've got our usual transparency and blend mode controls. So this controls the overall transparency of the effect. And here we've got a selection of blend modes that will blend the effect with the underlying visual. All three of these controls have audio reactivity, which means we can have the parameters change in accordance to the incoming audio. So if I set this stretch dial to low, for example, this is now going up in response to any lower frequencies. And I can set this stretch mode control to high, so that's going to change in response to any higher frequencies. And they all also have beat controls, so if you hit this button, for example here, this direction control is now going to change in accordance to your project's master BPM. And how quickly that changes is controlled by your master beat control on your ZwoBot player. So that's currently set to 1 note, but I can make it quicker by moving it up, and you can see now that's moving much quicker. And I can slow it down by moving it to the left.